Hey ladies, it's Suzanne. I'm a holistic stress relief mentor and I help women to relieve anxiety, chronic stress, and build confidence. So I wanted to pop on to talk a little bit about overthinking. So I've talked to many of you recently in the last couple of days, specifically that tell me that you get stuck in these cycles of just these monkey mind, spinning thoughts, racing thoughts. And I thought I would just come on to share with you, why do we get in this mode of that racing thoughts, those out of control thoughts? Well, frankly, it's because we don't have a lot of focus. And that is, life is very overstimulating. We go out into the world, maybe even just in our living room and watching the TV, and we've so much information coming at us all the time. And if we don't know how to prioritize or have boundaries in our life for these things, they can really impact us with this momentum, what I call momentum, with this intensity that gets our body really spun up. And when the body is just, in reaction mode to this overstimulation, it communicates messages to the mind that says, help me understand what's going on here. Am I really okay? But in the mind's inability to keep up with all of the information that keeps bombarding us over and over and over again, we get stuck up in that monkey mind. And it literally is like our mind is like on the monkey bars and we're just crawling from one thing to the next. And we really need to calm down in the mind and the body. That way we can regain control. So how do you get out of your head? Well, my favorite technique is tapping. So in your evidence of your overthinking mind, of, oh, here I go again, that thought that just kicked off 20,000 other thoughts. Now I'm just stuck looping in my mind and out of control and it's racing. I can't even remember where it all started. I'm just in this spinning out of control thoughts. That's step number one of tapping, is to notice what bothers you and how it bothers you. So if it's your mind and the thoughts that are like just nonstop, that just keep racing, know that you've gotten to a place where you're just been so overstimulated with either the emotional imprint or the intensity imprint of the initial thing that kicked you off, or just a cumulative kind of so much stimulation happening. Either of those scenarios could get us to just be completely out of control in our body's experience, and our body can't process as much as that's coming at us. And so we look to the mind to say, help me understand this. And the mind goes, okay, hold on a second. I'll think about this, and I'll think about this, and I'll think about this. And then that thought leads to the next thought, and leads to the next. And then you just keep going and going and going and going. It's like, oh, stop the insanity. How do we stop it? How do we get off of that crazy train of those overthinking thoughts? Easy. You're going to just know in that moment that you're out of control in your thoughts. You're not finding the solutions that you want, that you're not getting the answers that you're looking for. And you tap on the points. You tap between your eyes, side of the eye, under your eye, on your collarbone, and your wrist. You don't have to worry about what to say. Just in that mode of the thoughts don't stop. The thoughts don't stop. I don't have answers. What's the right answer? There's more coming at me. I can't rationalize all that I'm experiencing. Even if you even know how to say that or not, or understand that's what's happening, that's what's really going on. Either it's I've let too many things go, and now it's just mounted and mounted, and now all of a sudden it's just the snowball tips over the top of the ledge and it's running down, the hill. Or it was one big thing that just kind of hit you and you said, oh, I don't know, there's too many scenarios. What do I do here? And then mind says, hold on, let's think about this. And it just keeps looping and looping and looping. So whichever got you to that place, whether it was a cumulative, building up of things that were stimulating you, or just one impactful thing that just got you to be in your mind like a monkey, running around, racing around, trying to understand what's going on. In that specific moment, that is when you tap. Because the 4 easy steps of tapping, remember, step number one is notice what bothers you and how it bothers you. So if how it bothers you is, I can't shut my mind off. I can't stop these thoughts. They keep coming. And now these thoughts are scaring the crap out of me. Or these thoughts are really worrying me. Or these thoughts aren't giving me the answers that I want. That's step number one. Step number two, give it an intensity number on a scale of 0 to 10. If well, I think about these things, but they don't really bother me, well, then maybe you're not really overthinking. But, if you're really in a place of oh, it really bothers me. I really need to find an answer. I can't wait. I need to know right now. That would be pretty intense. So maybe that's a 10 on a scale of 0 to 10, or maybe it's a 7 or an 8. But you want to find something that's higher than a 6. And that's step number 2 of tapping. Step number 3 of tapping is to go to the part that stands out. Maybe it's the question of, oh, but I just need to know what to do about this thing and I don't have the answer yet. Or maybe it's just, I can't stop thinking. I just can't shut my mind off. It won't quiet down. Whatever it is as your symptom, as your evidence, as your proof of this overthinking mind, stick right there with it. And then step number 4 is you're going to tap at the same time. So I invite anybody who's overthinking right now, either watching this video live with me or on replay, if you're overthinking something, if you're stuck up in your mind with these racing thoughts and you can't come to a conclusion and you're just confused and out of control, put an intensity level number on it, 0 to 10. Go to the worst part, the part that stands out the most, the part you're just like, oh, it's that thought I keep looping back to, or it's that thing that I haven't figured out yet. I need to know what to do about. And then step number 4, we're going to start tapping. So take your 2 fingers, and if you grew your eyebrows together right here, this is the first point. And say all these thoughts. So many thoughts. One after the other. They're not stopping. All these thoughts racing in my mind. The speed of these thoughts. The details of these thoughts. All the questions. All the confusion. I don't have any answers. And I really need answers. And then tap on the side of the eye right here. My mind is spinning. These thoughts, out of control. So many of them. One after the other. It's so intense. All the meaning about these thoughts. All the beliefs of these thoughts. Just letting them all go. And then tap under your eye on the top of your cheekbone. All these thoughts, they're just thoughts. I don't need to believe any of them. I'm willing right now to let them go. It's possible to let them go. I don't have to stay connected to everything I think about. And then tap on your collarbone. The answers that I'm looking for and the decisions I need to make can't come to me when I'm in a place of confusion. So I'm willing right now to calm it all down. Calm down my mind, calm down my body, and feel into the impulses of what the right answer is. But right now, my mind just keeps spinning and spinning. All these thoughts, crazy thoughts, out of control thoughts, thoughts that don't make sense, thoughts that lead to other thoughts. Just letting it all go. And then grab your wrist and squeeze it around a couple times, and then take a nice easy breath. Blow it out. Say the word clear. And then you might be experiencing like a little bit of a light tingly sensation, or maybe you yawned or took like a spontaneous breath, or maybe you just feel a little bit more calmer and lighter about what your experience is in your mind and your body right now. And all those are signals of you being able to calm down, shift that energy through, and be able to lean into your inner guidance and your inner wisdom. And I also wanted to touch on what that means too. I was talking to a woman earlier today, and we all know the phrase, you know, like look both ways before we cross the road. Like we know that wisdom, right? We know what it means that before we cross the road, we should look both ways. And depending on what roads you're on, you know, even one-way streets, you should look both ways because people don't always drive the right way on a one-way street. So what happens to us is when we experience things that are overwhelming to us, you know, we need to allow our mind and our body to complete that process. But we get stuck up in that process and then we never, ever, ever complete it. And that's why the next time something else happens that kicks off that stress response, that stressful process, it kicks it up even more and more and more. And that's how we kind of accumulate more and more and more stress all the time. So we need to be able to look at each one of those experiences and allow our body and our mind to complete the process so we can rationalize it and move it through us. That way we don't get stuck in that response. And so back to, you know, how do we have this wisdom of where we look both ways where we cross the road? We don't have to remember whatever horrible accident happened to somebody before they realized you need to look both ways before you cross the road. It's just we've taken that wisdom that someone learned and we said, hey, that works for us too. Let's just do that. But we don't have to remember that horrific experience that somebody had that where they had to learn about how they created that wisdom for themselves. The thing is that when we're looking for answers in our overthinking mind, we don't have access to that wisdom because we have a lot of incomplete processes, things that we've allowed to be overstimulated by. And so we need to have some focus and be deliberate and be a little bit more choosy about where we, engage our energy and what we subject ourselves to. I'm somebody who cannot watch scary movies. Just can't do it. Can't do it. Not going to do it. Because I know if I do, that I will be in a fight or flight trauma place for myself. And I'm all about keeping things light and easy and feeling good in my body. I do not want to get stirred up with a lot of drama. So I know what is going to kick off, have awareness of what's going to kick off my stress. And I protect myself from that, and I live life, with real aliveness because of it, because I'm not spending all my energy on reacting to things. So if you're an overthinker, lean into your overthinking mind in that moment. Don't try and rationalize anything because you can't. But you can start tapping on these tapping points to settle down your mind, settle down the body, get to a place of peace and calm. And when you're there, welcome those bits of wisdom that you have within you already that can help you feel those urges and impulses that are going to identify for you the next logical step, the next step that you could be taking in order to solve that problem, get out of the situation that's triggering you to be overthinking, or whatever it might be. It might just help you be able to calm down enough that you could get some perspective to choose what you want to focus on and say, I'm not going to let that worry me right now. I'm going to just stay focused over here and not get that, involved right now. So I hope this video was helpful for you. I look forward to reading any comments or questions you have below. Also, tonight's Wednesday, so it's our tapping open house at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I hope you all come on and join. It's been a great time that we've had the last couple of weeks since I started it. So if you're new to tapping, make sure to join us. You'll learn some tapping basics. If you've been tapping for a while, make sure to join us. We're going to be doing some live tap-alongs. Bring your struggles, bring your problems. One effortless technique, it's called tapping. Endless life-changing shifts. It really can help you be able to get that peace, get that calm, get that perspective, get that clarity, so you have choice and you find the purpose of where you're going. So thank you so much for listening to me, and I will see you tonight.